These are the best days of our lives. Let's raise your glasses high. This one's for you tonight.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 9 of the SUR Files here. It's Friday, May 15th, 2026. It's your truly the nefarious one, aka Joshie Lopez. Recording to you live from my apartment here in Winter Park, Florida. A lot of stuff to discuss this week, as always, here on the SUR Files in a very heavy-packed edition of The Valley. There's a lot to discuss, so one big favor I could ask for you guys for this week's episode is to comment down below, especially here on YouTube, and let me know how you felt about this week's episode, because I felt it was the longest episode as far as like airtime is concerned, but also I felt this was the most revealing, and this was my favorite episode of the season so far. There's just so much to pack into one episode, but there's other things that's been going on around the Bravo universe that we need to address here on the SUR Files. Like I said, I'm Joshie. You can hit me up on X if you like at the Hoots Podcast. I'm on Instagram at Josh Lopez Music. Make sure to follow our TikTok page at SUR Files. That's SUR Files on TikTok. And make sure to follow us and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, youtube.com /@ the SUR Files. And currently close to 30 subscribers right now. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So best way to help expand the reach of our podcast, especially with this being a newer project on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button and smash the subscribe button, and like, comment, share down below your thoughts of the Valley and everything that you hear on the podcast. Also on the channel, if you want to check out my audio book that I wrote about Scandival, it's called #Scandival by Joshie Lopez. So if you guys give it a chance, and it's a project that I worked on for about 2.5 months. So that's pretty much it for plugs. Oh, one last thing, very, very important. The SUR Files come to you free of charge anywhere you get your podcasts from each and every single Friday. Our home for the SUR Files is Odyssey, so big shout out to the people at Odyssey Creator Lab for having us on their platform and providing us an outlet to share this podcast on multiple different platforms, and we appreciate the support on that end too. So thank you to the people at Odyssey. But again, if you want to check out the SUR Files, all you have to do is type that in the Google search engine, and it'll be right there for you to find. With that being said, before we get to all the stuff with the Bravo stuff, there's stuff that I wanted to hit on from Lala's appearance on Watch What Happens Live. We got a response from Scheana regarding that. If you're under the loop or under the rock as far as what's going on between those two again. Again, I want to go over this heavy-packed episode of The Valley, Triggers and Tiaras. That was the name of the episode this week. And we need to have a serious conversation about Danny on this episode. And again, I would just love to hear you guys' feedback. You know, it's very cool to see the amount of feedback and volume of notifications I get on our TikTok page. I think that's most definitely the most successful part of our project so far as our reach and success on TikTok. I looked this morning that we just passed over 500,000 likes for our videos, which is insane. We're close to 5,000 followers on the page as well, which is great to see. But it's also the fact that we're getting interactions from the people and cast members from all these different shows. Like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I had interactions with Stassi. Freaking Stassi showed her. That's awesome. Schwartz liked a funny clip of a movie scene that I shared with Lala from God knows how long that movie was ago. But the small stuff like that just is awesome. You know, I really wanted to bring something different to the table to the SUR Files with the concept of it, and the emphasis is the files. We get so many different likes and followers and comments, and some things hit off, some don't, some things go viral, some things don't. But I have fun, and also, get to interact with Lacy over the last couple of weeks from the Valley. Lacy is Jesse's girlfriend, for those who don't know, from Orange County. And she's got a sweet soul, man. I really vibe with her. Jesse picked out a good one, and I'm not just giving them a compliment because he's a Taurus. So happy belated birthday to Jesse as well. I just celebrated my birthday last Thursday of this recording. So shout out to my Taurus brother, Jesse Lacy. But Lacy is awesome, man. She's been very kind, just giving us compliments and stuff, and I really appreciate that. So big shout out to Lacy. And like I said, there's some stuff that I want to talk about really quick. As you know, this is not just a Bravo podcast, it's also a live podcast, and let you guys in on what's going on with me. It's not gonna be too long. I know I'm not gonna make this depressing or anything, but Sunday will be May 17th. I'm recording this on May 15th on a Friday, and May 17th will make 5 months of my time here in Florida. And unfortunately, this experience is not pan out the way I thought it was going to. And I'm dealing with a big sense of embarrassment and self-doubt, especially the last couple weeks. But I thought things were going to turn around because this past week I was what I thought was starting a new job, working in the back of the house of a Chick-fil-A that was close to my apartment. So some situations came up that were out of my control. My first shift was this past Monday that I went and got up early. My shift started at 7 a.m. in the morning. I got there around 6:30ish to get my clothes and everything. And so the process with Chick-fil-A, especially with a restaurant, they have you in training. So I was starting my training process basically on Monday. Not even 30 minutes into me getting my clothes on and getting to meet the people there, I got pulled into a meeting and got told that over the weekend they hired 3 different people for the same area position that I was in, and that they had to reshuffle some things amongst their roster and their crew members, and that my status as an employee switched over to an applicant, and basically me being there on Monday was going to be more of an audition, a physical audition to do the job. And they were going to do it again on Tuesday for the remaining people because they felt their rationale was that they wanted to give everybody a fair shot for the people that had applied for the position. And that that's how they wanted to go about it. So I was there for my shift from 7 to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I was there for about 8.5 hours and did the entire shift, man. And I'm proud that I went through with it. Parts of it was not easy for me. I can attest to that. But I talked about this before. Like, this has been really a big struggle with me with my self-confidence, and I've been here for 5 months, and I'm very proud of what I've been able to accomplish on here. This has been the biggest risk that I've ever made in my life, is moving to another state, but also proving to myself that I could do it on my own. And I've been on time with all my bills and everything, and paying rent, and I'm really struggling for money right now, and it's really due to the fact of, just getting fucked over with these jobs, and getting, time goes by. I've dealt with a budget cut, my wages for my writing job for wrestling was reduced by 35%, and that's really done me in numbers wise for the money that I make a month. And then, you're paying for a $1,400 apartment each month with added expenses, and it's not working, man. It's just not. I am frustrated beyond belief. Frustrated is not even the word. I don't have enough words to express how I'm generally feeling right now. It's crushing and it's defeating because I haven't really been able to truly enjoy my time down here. I feel like I've been on scramble mode and just fighting internal demons within myself during this process. I've barely seen. I haven't even seen my friend who lives here because she has an overprotective boyfriend, and God forbid she can't say hello to a fucking friend that she's known for 7 to 8 years. It's just sad, man. It really is. I wanted to make this work, but I had to be realistic. I have a feeling that I'm going to lose my writing job soon. Things are just not going well with the behind the scenes aspects of the website that I work for the wrestling stuff that I do. And it looks like I'm going to be losing my job, getting furloughed again for the wrestling stuff. I don't know when. It could be next month. It could be next week. I have no idea. But at this rate, just the wait and see process of if I'll get an interview, or I've tried to apply for so many different things. I'm trying to look back to getting into the remote options because I think they'll probably be the best option for me and what I'm really good at as far as typing and things. But it's just like, fuck, man. I don't know. Maybe you guys can understand where I'm coming from, or it's just like you feel like you're at a point of no return and you just like you can't catch a break for anything, and no matter how hard you try, it's just like you get hit with this sense of like it's God's giving you a sign, right? It's saying that things are not meant to be. I tried and worked so hard to make this move a reality, and I did it. And now here I am, like, just, I don't know, on the verge of crying and just frustrated with myself because I don't deal well with rejection, just like from a confidence point of view. And I already deal with self-doubt as it is, and I think I've got better with it over the years, but it's just like in my life with a lot of things, I've been accustomed and being numb, getting a numbing feeling to being told no and no and no, and things are out of my control for opportunities that I should have got, having radio job positions that I was told that I was more than qualified for getting, and then 2 months later it gets canceled because new owners come in. I've had just the feeling of having the rug pulled over me so many fucking times in my life professionally, and I've dealt with some deep shit personally too. It's just like I can't catch a break no matter what, man. And I'm trying to find anything right now just to keep my head up high. I went to an NXT show last week at the Performance Center. I'm going again this Tuesday because I just need to get out of the house. Especially in this situation where I'm not married, I'm not dating anybody right now, and I need to get out of the house because sitting in the apartment by yourself and you're in your thoughts about these situations, and it just sucks. Like, I woke up this morning and I see the name tag for the Chick-fil-A thing, and I'm supposed to be there right now. Like today would have been my third training day, so it's just I was on such a high last week. Last Thursday was my birthday. It was a really, really good time. I covered the Backlash pay-per-view for WWE, which was a really, really good show. and I was just on cloud fucking nine, and here I am a week later, and I'm back at fucking rock bottom, and like I don't know what to do. I'm trying my best. I don't know how much I could be able to afford my lease. I mean, I could afford one more month here, but by like July, I don't know, because I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have the writing job, and if I don't have that, I don't have any job. So I don't know, man. I have so many decisions to make, and then it's also, like you have to give a certain number of day notice to your apartment that you want to break your lease early and stuff like that. And it's just fuck. Like, I honestly feel in my heart that going back home to Chicago for me is taking 5 fucking steps back. And I hate saying that because I miss home. I really do. I miss my family. I miss Chicago in a lot of ways, but I feel like maybe more the fact that I miss Chicago is it's because it's the only thing that I know that's constant, and then it's there for me and something that I can rely on. And this is not what I wanted for myself at all. Not at all, man. But I have to be honest with myself, like it's just I tried my best. I really did. I've done my due diligence to try going to different type of jobs and interviews and stuff like that. It wasn't just the wrestling or media stuff that I do. I try to expand my horizons, and it's just like maybe Florida's not meant for me. I don't know. This is not what I wanted for myself at all. So, let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, we'll get to this week's episode of The Valley, and then we'll sprinkle in some other stuff that's going on around the Bravo universe. We got a lot to discuss here. So I'm Joshie. This is episode 9 of the SUR Files. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 9 of the SUR Files. How to recap The Valley, season 3, episode 7, aka the Triggers and Tiaras. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to discuss this week on this podcast, and I'd love to hear your feedback, good, bad, and different. What stood out to you on this week's episode of The Valley? As I said in my initial TikTok video recap on Wednesday after the show went off the air, that my MVPs for this week's episode was Lacy, Jesse, and Jasmine. Jasmine, with one of the lines of the season so far saying that Michelle needs to get laid or something. It was just the perfect timing of it. We get small dosages of Jasmine. I don't know why they don't explore more into her and Melissa's relationship, especially with the fact that they're about to get married soon. So maybe that they'll get more of a feature in season 4, hopefully. But Jasmine's just off the cuff and just great with her one-liners, man. It's fantastic. Early on with the episode, we were kind of like continue on how things were going on at the Belmont Park of it all, and tension rising with Danny and Nia. I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. Kristen was still, there's something going on with her period. Again, I'm not a girl. I can't explain what she was going through, but she was like having a lot of anxiety, and she did not want to be there, and she got upset, and they had to call Uber to send her back to the Airbnb that they were staying at. And that was kind of rough to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I felt bad for Kristen. Like, I know they were showing flashbacks of her being a terrible traveler and stuff like that on Vanderpump Rules, and her anxiety getting the best of her. It's crazy. Like I think I mentioned this last week. There's always something when you're traveling. I always noticed this as a kid. Like, for whatever reason, either my mom or dad would have their head up their ass while we're on a vacation out of town, and it can be for the silliest of reasons. And it's like, Now, on this level, you can understand why she's going through what she's going through. So I feel bad for Kristen. You know, Lucas tried to do the best that he can. There's a little bit of remedy in that when they had their conversation on the hammock, like that swinging rocking chair in the backyard the next morning, which I thought was nice before they went to the safari. And, you know, they had to better, you know, this whole season, they just saying like they have to work on their communication, you know, especially in situations like this. They're raising a family now. Who knows if they want kids again down the road? How they haven't even started ideas of planning for a wedding. So, you know, like I've been saying for this entire season, I admire and applaud Luke and Christopher how honest and raw they've been about their marriage, not their marriage, but their relationship coming off the birth of their child Kaya, and what they've been revealing. Because, you know, with reality TV, you never know who's willing to be that upfront and honest about certain situations that happen in real life. So I applaud Kristen. I think overall with the season, you could say that she's been the MVP of the entire season. I'd probably throw Nia in the mix as well. But I got to give Kristen her flowers just for what she's been going through the entire season. Again, I'm a man. I'll never know what it's like to go to postpartum. And she's a trooper, man. She's one of a kind. One of the things that really popped me that I just got a chuckle out of was the interaction with Janet and Lacy at the beginning of the episode. So you got more and more people filing out. They're heading back to the compound that they're staying at. And basically, this is Lacy's opportunity to confront Janet for, you know, spreading gossip and doing the Reddit trolling thing that she's known for. And, you know, I was so happy for Lacy to stand her ground and say what she needed to say to Janet's face, because that was awesome. Like, we can admit it, and the fact that Michelle later on the episode, like, I'm not a mean girl. We don't team up on people. Come on, like, I like Michelle. I'm not gonna come here and castrate her character or anything like that, but like, come on, this whole season you, Janet, and Lala have been acting like high school mean girls towards Lacy, and it's so freaking obvious too. And good for, like, again, one of the reasons I wanted to see more of Lacy on the show is because she's the most upfront cast member on this fucking show besides Kristen. if we're gonna be honest, I mean, sure, you can throw Zach in and starts being upfront, but, you know, more times than not, he's being more petty and trolling than he is upfront about situations that's upsetting him. You know, so they get into an argument. Jesse's like, you know, pointing out the fact that Janet can't have a genuine apology. It's always passive aggressive, and then she walks away when the truth starts coming out. And it's like, you know, if I was married to you, I would cheat on you too, because that was the line that Janet said to Jesse in last season's of the Valley when they went to Santa Barbara. You know, yeah. If I was in Jesse's shoes, I would probably be triggered too by what Janet said, because, like, okay, I'm being painted as the biggest asshole on God's green earth, while what I thought was going to be the wife for the rest of my life decided to cheat on me, and then started to blame me for everything that went wrong with the marriage, as if Michelle did absolutely nothing wrong in the scenario. So I watched it, and I have to applaud Jesse and Lacy for how they handled that situation with Janet. Not only that, especially when they got back to the house, you know, and they start popping off with Lacy and Michelle, and Michelle's like, oh, just divorce me. You know, she's doing the whole thing like she did at Santa Barbara, except not throwing wine in Jesse's face this time. You know, divorce me. Jesse's like, look at me, I'm performative. Jason, There's just times where it's a good time for you to just not say anything at all. Because your timing, I get it, you're defending your wife in certain situations, but him in the background, like, oh, she's performative? Yeah, we get it that Jesse can be over dramatic or melodramatic sometimes. But are we just gonna put a blind eye that Michelle does absolutely nothing wrong and it's only ever Jesse's fault? Brittany, like, oh, everybody's chit-chattering about this tension with Michelle and Lacy, and Brittany's like, all right, let's get it out of the way. So they get into it, they start duking it out verbally, and then she's like, all right, let's separate. And Jesse pointed it out perfectly. What? You started the conversation. And then he's like, this one popped me too. I started cracking up. He's like, man, Brittany, she's great and all, but she stirs the pot a lot, and she's learned a lot of that from Jax over the years. That was just a fantastic line. I couldn't agree more. As much as I love Brittany, and she's a great person, and I enjoy her podcast, she is a pot stirrer. She is. She won't admit it to herself, but she is a pot stirrer. So that was that. And then, these are escalating. Lala's trying to calm down Michelle. And, you just get the vibe. Even like when they were in the back, it was like Brittany, Lala, Janet, and Michelle. And Janet's on this like movie chair, and they're like acting like high school girls and giggling. I called it the giggling squad on the TikTok review. It's just like, we see what's going on here. Like, those lights are facing. You guys don't do the high school mean girls talk shit behind people's back routine, because you guys do. Just own up to it. Like, I like all the. That's the thing. Like, I don't have any personal distaste or personal disdain towards any of these cast members, but just be upfront with it. That's my thing. So, a couple other things happen in between. Schwartz mentions to Lala the next morning that he had this fleshy carnal sex dream about Lala. We had the response this week from Katie to Lala on her podcast about the state of her friendship. That blew up a lot on my TikTok page. You know what? Let me play that for you, because I think it's very important to have context with these conversations here on the SUR Files, and I don't want to misrepresent anything that Katie said here in the situation. So let's hear from Katie's mouth about where she stands with Lala and her friendship. So here it goes.
What are your thoughts on Lala saying her hardest friendship breakup was with her? I would love your thoughts overall on that. She put it out on her podcast with Amber.
Yeah, I saw that. Obviously she's talked about it now on multiple occasions that she sent me a text last summer. And of course started off with like, there's no need to reply to this. So immediately I was like, cool, because I don't plan on it. The thing is, and I'm not harboring like a grudge. I don't hate her. I think I like to learn from people and take lessons and apply them to my life and do better. And the thing is, Lala and I have been down that road more than once. And so it's kind of, I'd be a fool to keep coming back for more. Like, this person's kind of showing me who and what they are, and it just doesn't work for me anymore. When she talks about it on the podcast, she treats it as if like there was this like one moment, this isolated incident that happened at the reunion where she kind of like threw me under the bus with some information that was, first of all, private, but also is so in the past, and it was just no longer relevant to what we were discussing at that moment. Even though it is a reunion and we are talking about stuff that happened, the intention felt malicious. It wasn't to just genuinely like call out or ask a question. It felt like, no, not for me. Prior to the reunion, even that whole morning leading up to that very moment, we were cool as fuck. I had just been at her house celebrating Ocean's birthday. We had been texting every day leading up to that. even in that morning, we were texting in the morning. So it was shocking and surprising how she turned on a dime so aggressively and so quickly. So that kind of threw me off. So yeah, after that reunion, I was like, I don't want to talk to her. Like, that shit was so weird. She went so hard. And then after that, for like months, doubled down, tripled down. Brought my mom into it all. Like, calling me miserable, saying that, and I understand being upset with a person, but like, I didn't do anything in that moment to upset you. I sat there and was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So it hasn't made a lot of sense to me in her sort of unpacking and the way she talked about it, how she talked to her sponsor about it and was spinning and saying that it's not how it happened. I'm like, well, however it happened was weird as fuck, but it's like everything that happened after it that kind of just painted the picture of like where we stood with things. And I just was like, I just want to remove this from my life. And obviously I've moved on from my divorce and from Tom, but her moving weird with that stuff, like the joking and of being with Tom and even seeing stuff on the Valley of like her constantly joking about hooking up with him, and they had like a big pact in the pool or something. It's just, I don't know. It just seems weird. It's like, you're going to cry about our friendship, but then do the very, very thing that you did when you first came on that show that made me hate you and was try to make me feel insecure, more insecure in my relationship than I already was. And now you're kind of acting it out. You're letting it play out that way. It just feels weird. It just feels weird. So I just feel like she moves funny, and I just think that it would be cyclical with her if we were to keep doing it. Is that?
All right, there you go. There's Katie's response to what's going on there. We got that side of the story. Let's get into this one here with Schwartz. Going over this dream with Lala, and let's hear from the After Show podcast from the Valley. So let's play this.
Schwartz revealed he had a dream about you in San Diego.
Lala, I had the most fleshly, intense, carnal sex dream, and you were involved in it.
He used the word fleshly. Ooh, it sounds like fleshlight.
I don't even like those words. Why did I use those words?
That's going to cause a breakup.
Oh, God, count as it to kill me.
The only reason this is a thing is because you actually vocalized it afterward.
I had to.
Many people would have that dream and just never speak about it.
Because it was like such a powerful image. I thought it might fester if I didn't say something.
What's so funny is that he feels guilty because he has a girlfriend. I'm like, you feel guilty about a dream?
I was like, oh my God, I felt dirty. I almost felt like I had cheated. Even though I can't control what happens in here in my sleep. Who impregnated that thing into my mind? Impregnate? Okay. I don't like any of these words.
I actually think there is some truth. I feel like you should have a little guilt because it's your subconscious that's having that dream.
Not necessarily.
I don't know, man. I confessed. It was wrong. And it was filthy.
It was very animalistic sex, which sounds right on par for me. Not so much for him.
Could you handle Lala?
Probably not.
Oh, hell no.
She's fierce, but fierce in a very Lala way. She's
bang you.
Yes.
We've already established that she's a Komodo dragon. She's a golden retriever. I can kind of see her eating his head off.
Which sounds fleshly intense and carnal.
Yes.
I think Schwartz probably likes vanilla sex.
Well, he told me.
Should my sex drive be higher? Not that I can't go the distance, but like after 15, you're like, come on, let's go.
Vanilla Schwartz.
Well, yeah, that's okay. Vanilla's like one of the best flavors.
Like, at one point, I did think he was asexual. I even told him, I was like, you want to join the acronym? Because you can if you need to. I am here for you.
I see him
People
laying
can-
down.
down and someone on top of
Yeah.
him. I see him with his glasses on, fogged up. Whoa! Wow!
But I think he steps up in the bedroom. I have heard.
Oh.
I think he can, like, turn on some, I don't know what, but turn something on.
I mean, what's wrong with just like classic standard sex positions? The moment I stop enjoying myself in the normal standard, 4 positions, then maybe I'll start thinking about moving on.
4?
I'm
What's the
shocked.
4?
I was like, 4? I thought it was only 1 or 2 with you.
I can literally only think of 3.
We all know what they are.
Get the whiskey.
I don't. We have different lives.
There's missionary, there's me
Bye.
on top, and then doggy style. What's the 4th?
Wait, let me even think. Are there 4 or there's 3 actually? Now that I think about it.
I guess maybe like once in our relationship, I've been on top facing, what's that called?
reverse cowgirl. I've maybe done that like once or twice. Like if I've had like 9 drinks.
Getting super freaky like the Kama Sutra, that's like a young man's game. I'm not trying to bend over backwards and do like, you know, the splits.
Jason sneezed once. Not even sneezed. He like sniffed. He had like an allergy or cold, and he threw out his neck. Like,
Stop.
we don't need to be doing all these crazy sex positions. Like, we're good.
What about like standing up with one leg up?
Oh, standing up. Oh my God, getting out of bed. Clutch my pearls.
Have you guys had any sex dreams with anyone in the group?
No. I don't really have dirty dreams. Yeah, I have like murder dreams.
Oh, I thought I had a full-on orgasm while I've been sleeping.
I don't have a ton of sex dreams, honestly. And when I do, mostly like in my life, when I've had a sex dream, I've been having a normal dream, and then I realize I'm dreaming, and I just start having sex with whoever's there.
Are there only 4 positions in the dream?
Oh, in the dream, there's 5.
Whoa.
I feel like it was a stress dream more so than a sex dream, where he was like, "Oh, I've offended Lala," and then she's like beating him, and it kind of becomes arousing.
Because
but
he's like
it really
scared
shouldn't.
of her. I feel like
Yeah,
he's like scared of
exactly.
her and like walking like a dog and stuff. Like
That is
Yeah,
literally
like
the
him on
first
all
thing.
fours, like,
yeah, pup play. That's what my head went to immediately.
yes, I could just see it.
Do you think John would be into being walked like a dog?
If Kiana was like, get on all fours, he's gonna get on all fours.
Kiana, I'm sorry that I was like flirtatious. You sound like an oracle.
That's me.
And had weird dreams. Fleshly, carnal, sex dream. But I love you very much. And hopefully by the time you're seeing this, we're still together. I love you.
I'm sure I'm not going to make it. A direct message to one person.
Let's say find out publicly that she's broken up with me.
Guys, Schwartz here. Like, I had this idea that's like, there's nothing wrong with, like vanilla sex. It's great, and I love Lala. I love Lala. And she would kick my ass. She would kick my ass, okay? Guys. I'm in for real detox here. Oh, I gotta do a video version of this. I've been trying to work on my Schwartz impression. I hope that came out good here, but I gotta do that in a video version one of these days on TikTok. That'd be funny. Guys, man, you just gotta understand. Like, I need to write out like a transcript of what he said and just like reenact it. Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right, a couple other things. Let's continue on here because we got a lot of pertinent things to hit up on this week's podcast. So we go to the safari. They're getting to the different truck vans to drive up there, and we got Kristen in such a good mood that she decided to go in the same one that Janet's on. I thought that was interesting. I was just happy to see Kristen in a good mood. That was the biggest thing. So she's like, hey, look at me. I'm in such a great mood. I'm in the same vehicle with someone that I can't fucking stand. So I thought that was great. The zip line rides looked pretty cool. Maybe I would consider doing that. I think that looked a lot of fun. Going to a safari zoo park like that, San Diego. I would like to check that out one day. That'd be pretty cool. In the way to the zip line, we have Danny and Nia arguing with each other again. Danny, I guess we start with this here because this is where this is where the episode just went way south for me and into a direction that, while I enjoyed the drama of it all, and this was indeed the best episode of The Valley this season, not take anything away from it, but look, man, I hate saying stuff like this because I really have rocked with Danny. I know that he's a great father. I admire the fact that Danny and Nia are very big into their faith and, being Christians and, being a very religious couple. I respect and admire all of that. I liked his voiceover work. I've seen his work on Hannah Montana before. And I think Danny's probably a good person to hang out with on a download and have a good conversation with. But, I'm not going to come on here and call him Danny Darko. but the way he's been talking to Nia the entire season, sober, not sober, dark side Danny, whatever the fuck you want to label it, you need to put some more respect on your wife's name and how you talk to her, especially if you're going to do it in front of cameras too. Like, I don't care that Brittany had a hissy fit last season that you guys are hiding things from the cameras. I really don't care. That's her prerogative. But to come off as such a pretentious fucking twat to your own wife who's trying to have fun. Yeah, we get it. You're upset that she's making you do things with the baby while you have a babysitter there. Okay, we got the fucking point. You expressed it on last week's episode. Now, here we are this week, and here you are still talking down to your wife as if she's beneath you, and you're above looking out for your kid. And then we get back to the house. They're going to have this pageant competition, but it's the guys that are modeling instead of the girls. Look pretty funny. I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out next week. I'm sure Jesse's gonna look over the top. We all know how Schwartz looks like in drag. One of the legendary episodes of Vanderpump Rules in New Orleans for Katie and Tom's wedding. So here we are. Danny is drunk out of his ass, and he is just talking obnoxiously and loud and just snarkiness towards his wife while she's trying to help him get ready for this pageant thing. And there's like a confessional in between the conversation where he's like, Nia's just starting to frustrate me because I'm ready for her to take the lead and all this shit. Like, are you watching how you're conducting yourself and how you're talking to your wife, whether you're sober or not? You throwing a freaking hissy fit because she was eating a sandwich before you guys left? I don't know, man. Maybe Jax was right, man. Maybe Jax was right. Like, I hate saying this because I want to like Danny. I actually defended him in the first couple episodes of this season. But especially the way you're speaking to your wife was unacceptable this past week. Not only that, to the way this episode ended this week, where you're pointing fun at Lala for feeling triggered in a situation where she was uncomfortable, and you decide to put it upon yourself to make fun of her and call her mistriggered. Grow, wake the fuck up. And please, from yours truly, grow the fuck up. Honestly. I hated seeing how he was acting towards his wife, and especially how he was talking to Lala the way that episode ended. That's not how a man of faith carries himself, and that's not how a good man treats his wife. I don't care how much alcohol you consume in one day. You just do not do that shit. You just don't. There's no excuse for it. There really isn't. And it's a shame. I wish this was a topic that they addressed more on the after show this week, and they did not do it, and that kind of pissed me off a little bit, because that needed to be addressed. So maybe they'll say that for the reunion, but the way, especially how he was talking to Lala, the way that episode ended, just set me off the wrong way. Like, I'm proud of Lala. Like I mentioned earlier, yeah, she does play into the catty, talk behind people's back thing and trying to stir the process up. But besides that, Lala's a great person. She has a great heart. She's a great mother, and she's a great person. And I'm glad for her that she stood 10 toes down and, wasn't taking any shit from Danny in that situation. She spoke up about what made her uncomfortable, and she had every right to. So I don't know how that's gonna play out, man. That just did not look good. And then there was a confessional for Nia saying, like, at one moment where she's like, Lala, stay out of our business. And then 2 seconds later, she's like, oh, I'm glad at least someone understands what I'm going through. So she's like, oh, man. So, triggers and tiaras were the emphasis in the title episode this week due to the fact of this argument with Lala and Danny. Also, I should mention that there was a productive, I say productive with air quotes, question here with Michelle and Lacy at the safari park once everybody cooled down for the zip lines. And I thought the conversation was good, but I don't know, man. There's just something about Michelle this season that just comes off disingenuous, and where I feel like she's trying to like upstage Lacy now, the fact that she's filming with the crew. And look, Michelle has said it herself on the TV show. I can only follow through with what the cast members tell me. I take them at face value. She says she does not do well with exes. She doesn't keep contacts with exes in her real life, and she doesn't interact with partners of said exes. So, yeah. We got a lot of ground to cover in the next couple weeks. I generally don't know how many episodes that we have for the Valley this season. We just did episode 7 this week. I don't know if we're at the halfway point. Maybe it's 15 again like it was last season. But they said that this episode's to be continued. So we're in it for the long haul, pal. So let's see how the rest of this plays out. The rest of this trip in San Diego is getting toxic here. So with that being said, there's a couple things of audio here I wanted to play before we wrap up this week's edition of the SUR Files. And that is Lala's appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. So we got a couple pieces of audio that we need to play here. The first one here is Lala talking about Scheana and where things stand with their friendship here. So let's play that.
I can't figure out what happened with you and Scheana. It seems like something, like you won't even discuss it.
No.
Wow. I mean, was it horrible?
She's over there, I'm over here. She's Bravo blogging, I'm here.
Okay. I mean, it does beg the question, what would happen if she wound up on the Valley next year? I mean, you would be confronted with her face.
Yeah, and if she appeared, then we could duke it out, but she hasn't appeared.
All right. There's Lala's response. Here's Scheana's. And this is fresh from her podcast that just dropped this morning.
I'll give the Jax hole. I won't make you do it. I will give the Jax hole to anyone who wants to shit on a Bravo blogger, because you know what? I'm honored to be compared to them in that category. First of all, like, we're all out here doing podcasts, spreading the good word of Bravo, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, these people work so hard, and to say it in a way that's demeaning, it just discredits the hard work that they do, the countless hours they watch, and the fact that none of us would have a job if people weren't invested that much in our lives. So
it's facts.
That's all I have to say. But
there you go. And then the other part here that caught my eye was, you know, for Scheana, like, I think this is 2 or 3 weeks ago, she mentioned this on the podcast that supposedly Lisa Vanderpump was trying to hook up Lala with Tom Sandoval during season 11 of Vanderpump Rules. Let's hear from this clip from Lala's appearance on Watch What Happens Live.
Cast. She said that something about Lisa Vanderpump orchestrated that you trying to something get with Tom Sandoval. Is there any truth behind that?
Did Vanderpump try to hook you and Sandoval up?
Y'all are killing me right now. I do not want to talk about this woman at all. Stuff happens, you know? Things are said. People ask questions.
Right.
I won't confirm or deny that did or did not happen. If you catch what I'm putting down.
Okay.
All right. There you go. Some things to ponder, man. Some things to discuss. But all in all, I thought this was a good episode here. Hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure to continue to support our coverage of all things Valley and Vanderpump Rules and Bravo content on our TikTok page at SUR Files, SUR Files. Make sure to follow us on and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube at the SUR Files. And don't forget, new episodes of the SUR Files drop each and every single Friday, anywhere you get your podcasts from. The home of the SUR Files is Odyssey. And make sure, folks, to remember, folks, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. I'm Joshie. This has been episode 9 of the SUR Files. And next week, already 10 episodes in for a new project here. I'm very proud of this new adventure for myself. And I think next week's episode of The Valley is going to be crazy, too. So, all that said, I'm Joshie. This has been the SUR Files. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.